distance of copper line. Everybody knew that it made moonshine. Now the Revenue man want a granddaddy bad. Headed up a holler of everything he had. For my time, but I've been told you never come back from Copperhead Road.
Dan RadioStyle, hope everybody out there's doing great. That's Steve Earle doing Copperhead Road. Actually kind of reminds me of my grandpa. My grandpa, he's passed away, but it's all good. By the way, it's been years. But he used to run moonshine. He'd run it across state lines. He's like the original NASCAR racers. That's apparently where that started anyway. So, anywho, bumping into certain people, not sure what I'm calling this. It's something in lines with energies, the way we interact, the way we connect, and it was fascinating to me because, again, I sort of mentioned this in a previous show, but it was my birthday. I went to Disneyland and had just a really fun time. I hadn't been there in like 25 years or something crazy. It was like forever. Parts of it hadn't changed at all, and other parts of it were really, really cool. But it was a really cool experience, and it was a lot of fun, and I got to go with someone very special, and that was fun. And so I really, really enjoyed myself. But one thing I kind of was tripping on, because I love to people watch, is the way that we still seem to be interconnected. The way you can be in a place, and Disneyland's, I don't know, it's probably a few square miles. It's hard to say. It's not very big. It's maybe a couple square miles. I don't know, 4 miles, and then kilometers, that's times 1.6 or whatever that is. But it's not a very, very large area, but there are thousands and thousands of people. And you will find yourself bumping into similar people in different rides just throughout the day. Like there was a few different people that kept catching my attention that I kept recognizing on multiple rides. And it wasn't necessarily always in a row. And, we were kind of wandering off doing our own thing. But it is very funny how in life we can find ourselves in synchronicities with these random strangers that we know nothing about. So that's always sparked kind of an interest in my mind. And so where this kind of comes into, in my mind especially, is when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to spiritual awakening and all the good things that I love to talk about, when it comes to this level of connection with our experience, I think it's really a good way to say it, because we're creating our own realities, yes, but we're also starting to realize that when people pop up in front of us that, oh, here's a chance to interact, like this is here for that moment, like this is, I'm trying to manifest being with somebody. Here's an opportunity to talk with them for the first time and get that ball rolling. And now all of a sudden they're possibly going to be like, oh, I enjoyed talking with her. Hey, can I get your phone number right at the end of it? So a lot of times these things that we're ultimately trying to manifest, a relationship with so-and-so, are ultimately going to need that first step where they come close, you talk, and now all of a sudden they've asked for your phone number, or now all of a sudden there's a, hey, would you like to maybe catch a movie or, dinner, or hey, would you like to go to this festival thing that's scheduled, or hey, I've got an art exhibit that I'm a part of. Would you like to, come and be there as my guest? Or, any number of scenarios can come from a chance meeting. That's why I'm always so into, not the action. A lot of people seem to kind of throw like, well, you should wait for things to fall. Isn't that what attraction is? It's, I don't know if I even buy into that either. But no, but sometimes that's part of the experience, is bringing it close enough to where the interaction occurs. And that human interaction is what creates further outcomes. I feel like there's a disconnect sometimes in today's age, because there's still so much technology happening so quickly. I'm in technology, man, and I love it. I love it. Seriously, I just think technology is rad. There's certainly things I don't take advantage of that I could, but there's reasons I don't. And there's certainly a lot of things that I'm looking forward to that are very cool. And I don't know, there's still that whole spiritual human aspect of life that I enjoy as well. So I get this fun little mixture of all of our evolution as society. But I feel like because of technology, we're so used to getting things so quickly that it's very hard for us to deal with human relationships nowadays. Human relationships are in human time, right? Like you say hi to somebody, they need to go home and process that for a little while, right? How many times do things happen to us with other people, and then we lament or think or spend a lot of time, hours, sometimes days, even sometimes, rehashing it, rethinking about it, trying to come to a conclusion about how we feel about it, whatever, making some sort of judgment, if you will, right? Like there's a process that we go through internally to deal with stuff. Yeah, technology is instant fast. That relationships with other people aren't, and they're not going to be. Never. That's one of the things that's kind of interesting to me right now about the way society's changing and transferring and transforming. You know, we've got the wonderful aspect of technology and the speed it adds, but at the same time, we've still got human aspects, the way that societies work, the things that move in a much more molassesy fashion compared to what we notice in so many other areas. So paying attention to the way we're interconnected, the way we are bumping into each other, because likes attract likes, because there are certain people that are in our soul families. There are certain people you'll bump into that you just feel like you recognize even though they're a complete stranger. These, to me, are the things that have always proven this extra dimensional, this higher, this we come from a place that we go back to, you know, the whole evolution of my ideologies and beliefs. I was brought up very religious. I've just totally gone into the spiritual thing. Yeah, some people would still say I'm even extra crazy now. At least the religious people have a Bible. I got a lot of books. I got a lot of experiences. Whatever. You know, there's a lot of things, and there's things I don't even talk about that are pretty awesome in how they shaped the crazy world I've come to embrace and love and enjoy. But I've definitely noticed the way we're connected, the way you bump into people, and I think a lot of us can get behind some of these concepts. It's beautiful, really, when you see it. For me, also, it kind of makes each day more exciting because I never know what's going to happen, right? Like, I could chance bump into anybody, and I have bumped into some very random people in my life. And when you realize that, you start to see that, yeah, maybe today sucked, but I get it, and I learned something from it, or whatever, or wherever you're at with the process. I'm going to make dinner. I'm going to maybe go for a walk, feel better, and then I'm going to go to bed, and tomorrow's a new day. And you can truly believe that tomorrow is a new day. And you start to see the way we're all connected, all of us. A lot of you that are finding these videos, it's because there's a connectedness. It's the same thing. There's just a new medium for us to be able to share now. It's powerful the way it happens. One other thing that was kind of interesting, and this is one just sort of aside, but it's tied in. There was a group, and it was one ride. Never saw these guys the rest of the day, fortunately. But they were in front of us, and then two of them kind of cut in with their friends. Whatever, it happens, right? But then there's one guy in the group, seemed to be a model based off of some other random conversation he had with some other random stranger that happened to be in line. But the way lines zigzag, they could be 8 miles in front of you, but at some point you cross them, right? Even though they're a half hour in the future as far as what you're about to experience. And they're right next to you for the moment. And you can see the wear and tear and the miles that they've walked. I'm making it sound so much worse than it is. I think the longest wait I had was about an hour, but stuff, wow. Like, right? An hour of my life, just, hey, look at people. Hey, look at that same person again. Wow, that's fun. But again, you get on that ride, it's like 30 seconds of just paradise. So whatever the case was, it's a great experience. I'm not trying to shoot it down in any way. But this dude just started talking to us out of the nowhere. It was just like random kind of weird thing. And there was one other lady that was asking on the nationality of the person I was with, which I thought was pretty funny. She's like, oh, I'm from a certain place. And I just thought maybe that's where I'm like, you were going to show off some of your language skills, but you were completely wrong on the race. It's funny how we interact. I ask crazy questions to people all the time. Maybe that's partially why I appreciate seeing it from other people. But again, it was that same kind of concept. It was just magical, not just because of where I was at, but again, it's that extra demonstration that I get to experience of how we are interacting. You can walk in a sea of strangers, a sea of strange faces, and you will see a couple of them pop out at you. This is how you know who you're connected to, who you should walk towards, whatever the case is. It's just beautiful. And I hope all of us kind of have these moments from time to time. If you haven't already, I hope you experience them because they're really awesome. And it really does, in my mind, demonstrate that interesting interconnectedness. What that proves, I don't know. I mean, it's my beliefs have stemmed from it as well. I think there's a lot of connection, and you bump into people you've never met, and you're like, oh my God, it's like I know you. There's just something to that. You got to wonder, because I meet lots of other people that is like, total random stranger. But you meet other people and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you forever. Why is that, right? Again, connectedness. It's powerful stuff. Kind of got a little bit of a sync of music that you're probably going to notice over the next couple shows that I release. I had to do a couple in advance, so there's a little pre-recording, and I pulled some of the music at the same time, but it's great music. It's just from a genre. I kind of got stuck into the 80s to a degree, maybe 90s, possibly. So anyway, we came in with Steve Earle, Copperhead Road, very random song, but it just totally caught my attention. Going out with a great song by the Eurythmics. It's right here. Sweet Dreams. Dan Radio Style.